Yo guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. I just saw Thunderbolts, directed by Jake Schreier, starring Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Hannah John Kamen, Sebastian Stan, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Wyatt Russell, and a series of other individuals, including the newest addition to the Marvel Universe, Lewis Pullman. This is a stacked cast with a lot of characters that people have fallen in love with and really enjoy and haven't seen a lot of recently because Marvel has been a bit disjointed as of late. We've gotten them in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we've gotten pieces of these in Hawkeye and in Black Panther and in Black Widow, and even as far back as Ant-Man and the Wasp. This film pulls from a lot of different sources, but also really goes back to the source material of Marvel. There are a ton of callbacks to the original Avengers, to their story, to their origin, and there's a lot of really nice things and tidbits and Easter eggs that really call back to the early days of Marvel. We're talking like 2011, 2012, like the original Avengers. I had really high hopes for this film. I anticipated that it would be really, really funny given this cast and given their history within this universe. But I was hoping for something maybe a little bit more balanced, something that could reel me in emotionally, but is not something that I anticipated would happen with this film. With that being said, it was funny, not as funny as I'd hoped, but there were some really funny moments. One moment in particular with David Harbour made me laugh out loud. I thought it was stellar. He is a wonderful comedic actor. But this film is interestingly really, really grounded emotionally. It is a lot about mental health. Each of these characters dealing with something mentally, and the villain playing on those things in a very interesting way, not the way that you may think. Having seen however many films you may have seen, it typically manifests itself using characters' fears or hardship against them. This takes an entirely different form, and I think that it's really, really, really well done and unique. I obviously think that the acting is fantastic. I have nothing but good things to say about these actors. I thought that Lewis Pullman was a wonderful addition that fit in really, really well with these actors, and I look forward to what he may do in the future of the MCU. Who knows? That is not a spoiler. We don't know. It's the MCU. A million different things could happen. Now, I really, really enjoyed some of the cinematography. There were some absolutely gorgeous shots and use of light and shadows to develop certain characters and particular character arcs and storylines, and to develop intensity and drama and suspense. And I think that it is absolutely beautiful, most of this film. The first half of this film is very confined to one place that is not aesthetically pleasing. But as we transition out of that, we get a massive juxtaposition that is absolutely done intentionally and works really, really well. Again, continues to develop characters, individual storylines, and then the storyline and the narrative as a whole. It works awesome. My biggest qualm with this film was, for a long time, the score. I thought the score was lacking. I thought it was pretty rudimentary. I thought that it wasn't giving us really anything. It wasn't connecting emotionally. It wasn't driving the narrative. And then there were some moments when we get little Easter eggs and tidbits that harken back to the early days of Marvel, even to Avengers specifically. And it works to tie things in, and there's a bit of a nostalgic aspect to it. Again, I don't think the score is great, but there are some nice bits in there that do work and work very well for those longtime Marvel fans. There are two post-credit scenes, or a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. If you love the MCU, I know you're going to stay. I keep hearing that the post-credit scene is bonkers, that it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy, but it's a bold move, and I'm interested to see where it takes us and what it means for other films and other MCU properties going forward. I am not at all underwhelmed with this film. It is as good as I anticipated it would be, but took these characters in a different direction than I anticipated we would get. I'm really teetering between a 7.5 and an 8 on this film. I really want to go with an 8, but my gut is telling me a 7.5. By the time I flesh out a full-on written review where I really analyze every aspect of this film, it's very possible that this ends up being an 8. It's even possible that this ends up being a 7. I think 7.5 is a perfect score for me right now, exactly where I think I need to be, but there's absolutely some wiggle room in either direction. Neither one makes it a bad film by any means. I'm not disappointed at all. And I thought maybe that I would be coming off of this high of Daredevil that would either affect me really positively or really negatively, where I was hoping it was something comparable to that. I don't really think I was expecting anything as good as Daredevil Born Again, so I wasn't disappointed in that regard. But I think 7.5 is where I'm at right now. I think that's probably where I'll be long term, but there's definitely some wiggle room, and I wouldn't count an 8 out or a 7 out. But yeah, Thunderbolts is a very good film. They do a lot of really, really good things, and they're leading us into the future as they have been since Endgame. But it seems like maybe they have found their footing. I've said this a couple times now. It seems like Kevin Feige and Marvel sort of know the direction that they're headed at this point. So, until next time, peace.